All right, so today we're going to be talking about Tesla. Okay, so now we're going to look at the chart real quick. This chart is on a 1 minute. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so we have our MACD here, we have our RSI, and this is where we were in after hours. We made a little bit of a bottom. Let's take a look. Let me get a horizontal line. I believe it hit 599.88. So we'll just put a red line there. So that's our local bottom for right now. And all right, so I want to draw these on a small time frame so it doesn't look ridiculous on a larger time frame, but at the same time I want to look at the large time frame. So let me switch to a daily. All right, that's a little strange. Such growth. All right. Oh, wow. That's great. Okay, so we're looking at multiple things here. So we're going to get to this top area, but let's get to this bottom area first. First, we're looking at the RSI. RSI currently is at 39, so we're dangerously close to oversold, but that also means that we have a good amount of area to go down, probably most likely to the 200 EMA, which it looks like we've been riding for a while. Let me just, yeah, so we're hugging that thing. And anytime we get close to it, it just catapults us back up. All right, let me back this out. All right, earnings coming up. What happened after? It looks like there was a steep drop. When's this earnings? All right, not until May, so we're good for now. This is a daily. I'm just going to do some small lines on the daily just to kind of give us a macroscopic long-term view on where we might start and stop. So here's our top. Actually, before I do this, let me just analyze this a little bit better. Do we have a clear bottom here? Multiple touches. A wick into a candle close. Into a candle close here. Just want to get a couple of these lines of support. Worst case scenario. I'm going to draw that right about. I like the wicks because the rejection. We do have more room here. I'm going more locally because you can look at this consolidation. This is over a couple weeks. I'm going to go right about there. All right, so if we do dip, I can't imagine. Oh, look at that. That's crazy. I can't imagine us going below this channel. And if we do, honestly, it's a fire sale and buy. All right, so I want to draw a trend line on the daily, but I don't want to have too many because it's going to dirty up the chart once we go into the lower time frames. All right, let me get one from this top right here, but it doesn't look, I don't think the angle is going to work. And it's going to go right into something else. So let me move this over. And we're going to start from the bottom up. So I can get to that wick, which is showing a rejection when we tried to go up. And then it looks like the, is this a 15 or a 9? Okay, this is a 9. So the 9-day local moving average held it down. And it looks like it closed under. All right. So that'll be a clear indication that we're in a downtrend right now. We're under the 50. I know that's the 50 moving average right now, the simple moving average, but we're over the 200, which seems to be a long-term support since at least the beginning of last year, even before then. But look at how much room there is. When you have this much room, if you're riding the 50 and the 9 and not riding the 200, you're in a really good position. Like you're going up for a while. And then if you don't even touch the 200 and then you bang back up, you definitely have a sound chart. Okay, so I'm looking at the daily. We do have the MACD, which is, you can see that the volume is turning red right there. And we even have the red signal right at market close. Well, actually, that's a daily signal. So this took the whole day into account from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Not the best signal, but at the end of the day, we're expecting a drop into this area on Monday. So, okay, let me finish my line. I'm going to get one more touch point. We want 3 touch points normally for validation. There's really no more we can do, but I don't want to muddy this up too much, but I do want to extend it forever. I'm going to keep it solid for right now. Maybe we'll lighten it up later. Let me get a bottom line. And that worked out pretty well. Not quite. Neaten that up. All right. Okay, so our candle's going to start. Are we going by the days? Let's see. It's the 27th, 28th, 29th is going to be our start. So that's going to be the next. So that's going to be the opening candle right there. Seeing where we go from right here will be a determination. If we're over here, let's see. 1 touch, 2 touch, 1 touch, 2 touch. It could go either direction. So we're either going to gap down or gap up. I'm assuming we gap down in the morning. Hopefully we see this as support and bounce back up. Well, actually not hopefully. I'd kind of like it to go down because I want to buy more. I want to buy in this area. Let's also note this price right here as a really good price area because I wouldn't expect it to go too much far below there. Or too much farther below there. 538.13. All right, so that's the golden price to stay above. That'll show if we are supported on the 200 or not. If we go under it and we stay under it, then we're going to be in a midterm downtrend, probably until the Suez stuff gets cleared up. And honestly, it might not even because their Tesla seems to be bulletproof at this point, and they just hedged with $1.5 billion in Bitcoin a month ago, which is now almost $3 billion. And that's all going to their balance sheets because now they're accepting crypto as payment. All right, so I'm just going to keep this line on my daily. Notice that we're at 37.69. I'm sorry, 39. Let me get in closer. So we're at 38.4. So we're dangerously close to oversold, which is good for a turnaround, but at the same time, we are horizontal. So we're not really showing an indication of which direction we were heading into at market close. So let me bang out of this. Let me go to a lower time frame. Let's go to a 12. All right, you can see the moving averages are switching around as we switch time frames. Now you can see the 200 is over here. Your 200 EMA is best charted on the daily, but it will show support through all time frames. As you can see, even with the 12-hour, riding, even though that's only half a day. But let's see if it does the same thing on a 4-hour. All right, now you can see the pre-market and after hours coming into effect. All right, so that's the 4-hour. Still almost oversold, but coming back up in the after hours. MACD starting to show strength again, but still on a downtrend. We want to see these cross again. We want to see one of these green dots on the multi-time frame MACD. All right, so yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I do expect a gap down below 599, but all based on the Suez ship. Tesla can do what it normally does and just defy gravity, news, and everything else. All right, so this doesn't look as neat. I'll just go back to the day and make sure that meets. It doesn't. Okay. I want to make sure that meets. Right there. Okay. I'm going to go back to a 4. All right. I almost want to take the extendeds off. It takes the bars with it, though, so we're going to keep it on. Here's your volume. Oh, wow. We had heavy selling volume at the end. Somebody was trying to push this down. All right. Let me put another line at that dollar amount. 538.13. Now delete that. Go there. I'm going to set my coordinates at 38.13. Okay. We don't want to get too dirty on this chart because then it'll be hard to read later, and I want to keep these for my own reference and for a future video as well. All right, so here's our lines of support, one at 400. This actually goes along to my thesis that I was talking about with a friend before. So yeah, 400 is, I mean, it's really not that local. That's November. And I think I even took it from, I started touching, let's see, November 10th, 2020. So that's pretty good. So we still have heavy strength. We're under the 200 right now, but that's only for about the last month and some days. You can see how ridiculously accurate these are as support and resistance lines. Look at that. So when you break through, that's when you know you're on a true fall, is when you break through that 200 and then you stay above or below the 200. See, we tried to come back, rejected. Came back, rejected. Then we had another fall. It does not like being rejected from the 200 EMA. We bounced off support. Actually, we didn't bounce off support at all. We just turned. Looks like we had I don't see any unusual volume around there. So that was just people saying, no, Tesla's worth more than that. Came up to the 200 EMA. It must have been algorithms working on that because it literally touched it, got rejected. And then it rode this 50-day. 50-day road, rejection off the 200, back down to the 50. People said, no, it's worth more. Came back, rejected before the 200, and just back and forth, back and forth. And there's a 9 in there. Let's see. So once we broke under the 9-day and then kept getting rejected by the 9-day, that's when we were truly in a downtrend. And because of the Suez stuff, that's most likely the reason that's happening. Here's VWAP right here, volume weighted average price. This seems to be, VWAP doesn't really help me on the lower time frames when it comes to Tesla. It kind of just rides the price action the entire time. It's never above or below, as you can see here. It's almost invisible. So, I mean, that thing should either be up here or below here, or if it's invisible, then it's fair price. This is what everyone thinks this is worth. Let's bump it down. We're going to skip these and just go to 1. Okay. Wow, still super oversold, but you could see it bounced off the 30 right there, even went to 28. Oh, don't want to move that too much. Looks like starting to gain in the after hours. It was starting to gain some positive momentum on the 1 hour. Let's see. You okay? Okay. All right. And let's just, this is a little bit more advanced, but I'm going to put this here on the 1 hour just to see, just to like quickly identify a divergence, which means if the RSI is going up and the price is going down, kind of like what you're seeing right here, that's normally bullish. Okay, but we are under every major moving average right now, which is bearish, but also gives us some targets. So you can see some targets because we've bounced off of all of these. So we have a target at 622. I think we were at 621.50 right now. We have a target at 648. We have a target at 669. And we have a target somewhere between 705 and 698. Well, let me go to the end of the day. All right, there. 696. 705 and 696. Okay. Personally, I think we're going to blast through all this stuff, but we'll see what happens. I mean, if it's a red week, this is definitely a time to get in on Tesla and get as much as you can. All right, let's go. Let's skip the 30, go straight to the 15. Oh, you can see in the 15 at the very end, And we started getting, it was a lot of sell pressure, but people were snatching those up, We even banged up right back to VWAP. We were over the 9 as we ended on the 15-minute, but we're under the 50, under the 50, under the 200, and way under the trend line of resistance. It's resistance right now because it's above us. When it's below us, it's support. Above resistance, below support. Over 70 overbought, under 30 oversold. When our buys cross over our sells, we are looking at green momentum on the MACD, convergence divergence, and you can see that we have the dark green, which is showing strength in the momentum. So there's high buy pressure coming in here. Once you see this getting lighter, the buy pressure is getting lower. And then once you see it turn red, then we're looking at sell pressure. Light red, believe it or not, is actually the stronger sell pressure, and then the red sell pressure, the darker red sell pressure means that it's decreasing. And as you can see, that's what happened here until it turned around and we saw more buy volume, more of a buy side imbalance than a sell side imbalance, meaning more people were trying to buy than were trying to sell. Okay, so, I mean, these right now are our buy areas for if we do have a crash with Tesla. Oh, I hate how these look ugly once you switch time frames, but that's okay. So yeah, so you can look at these and just keep these in your mind. Personally, I think we're going to bounce around here. Take a look at this. This is like, if we were coming up from the bottom, it would be a bull flag, but it still looks bullish. Okay. Let's go down to the 5-minute first. Everything tightening up. Ooh, almost overbought on the 5-minute. In the green on the MACD on the 5-minute. Could continue this. I have a feeling once market opens at 4, not the market but the pre-market, probably going to have a sharp dip to at least oversold areas. I mean, but any one of these supports could be respected. I mean, we're even over VWAP. VWAP can be a support. 9-day can be a support right there. 50-day could be a support right there. Local, is that the local bottom? Yeah, that was Friday's bottom. That could be a support right there. Everybody thought once this hit 5.99, bam, I'm buying. So the buy pressure came in pretty heavy right there and even increased at the end of the day. Except for right there, you can see a little bit of a sell. Little bit of red. But like I said, Tesla defies normal news catalysts and bad news in general. I think it's because Elon's got his hand in so many pies, and now with them being in Bitcoin, they are heavily hedged against the loss of their own sale price. Bitcoin having a lower beta means it doesn't react with the market as much as some other stocks. It actually will have much less of a pullback when the market pulls back, but less of a rise when the market rises. But Bitcoin also just does its own thing. Bitcoin is its own market. All right, so let's get some lines on the... I'm going to go to the 1 minute to do my lines. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Let's see. Pretty healthy. I'm going to go back to the lower time frames to make that make sense. So it's not nearly as divergent once you go to the 1 minute. I'm just going to leave that the way it was and go back to that after. All right, so what do we have? So this is the start and end of a new day. This is our after hours. That was our after hours. So this was the whole day. This was Friday, Thursday, so forth. Let's see. Steep decline. But for Tesla, that's not bad. Not a bad thing. Let's see how far back we can start our trend lines. Tesla's a different beast. Let me go to a 15. That way at least the lines will work for a 1 minute and for a 4 hour. Yeah, I like that better. Many more days in your lines when you up the time frame. All right, where do I want to touch? Do I want to touch there? Do I want to touch there? I'm going to touch there. We will have more touch points if I go back to this further point, but I feel the closer the touches, the more accurate the trend. It's personal preference, but that's how I do it. Let's see, do we even have a low spot? We do have a low spot to come from. See how this is now off because of the time frame difference? It's fine. I'm going to use this over here anyway. Problem is making them neat. All right there. And right there. Okay, so this gives you a good idea. If you do have a TradingView account, I can make this a shareable chart that you can download and then put on your own TradingView so you can work along with the lines that I drew. Anyone that wants that, just let me know and we can make that happen. That way you're using the same lines I'm using. You don't have to redraw them or look for them. It's already done. Okay, where are we? We're good on the top. Locally, 2 touches over multiple days on the 15 minute. So that's pretty good. And then we have going from the, where is this? Somewhat of a local low. I mean, that's what about 3 weeks ago plus. I have a lot of places I can draw here. All right, I'm going to end up making these dots or something so that there aren't so many lines, but let me just take advantage of this right here. The only issue, not issue, but like what gets you a little bit unenthused when you're drawing your downward trends is that they do, I mean, I extend them because they get respected perpetually. We just hope that they're not going to be needed only as support. We don't want them to become resistance because then we're resistance in a downtrend. Oops, let me undo that. Okay, so 1-2 touches to the down. I'm not going to draw a vertical resistance, or do I want to? Let's see. I'm on a 15. Looks like there was a good amount of resistance there. I just don't want to muddy this up too much. But that definitely could be a resistance point. Oh yeah, it runs all the way through. Is that a full candle right there? Let's see if I go to the tip right there. I'm hitting 3 tips. Sorry if you're coughing. My girlfriend is sick right now. Let's see. What's the best place to put this? Now, it doesn't have to be 100% exact, although you would like it to be, because then you know exactly what's going on. But sometimes you just don't have that information to deal with. It looks like I have a good amount of rejections at this spot. It might go a little bit higher. Or do I want to go to the tippy top? Let's go to the tippy top just to be safe. But I don't have enough touch points to feel good about it. So I'm going to go right about there. And just kind of use that as a middle ground for me. So we have some good touch points. We have a candle. Let's see, it started over here. So we have a green candle close right there. We have a wick right there. We have the end point of a red candle right there. Another wick right there. End point right there. Okay, so we have enough touches. So this is another channel that we have to look at. And look at that. I didn't even realize it coincides almost exactly with the 200. So that's enough channels for now. Okay, so Let's take a look at the indicators on the bottom on the 1 minute, just for good measure, and then I'll go back into the chart itself. Okay. God, this is such a strong stock. It's insane. All right, so after hours, it looks like we ended on a little bit of a high note on the relative strength index, and it looks like we were about to make a turn to the downside on the MACD on the 1 minute. How much that's going to matter going to the next trading day, I'm not sure. The higher your time frame, the better an idea you have for the next trading period. But it's never, you always kind of want to see it around here because you know the baby's going to blast up. But on the 1 minute, we're over the VWAP, the 200. Are we over the 9? Looks like we're right in the, did we close above it? No, we closed right below it. I don't like that. Closing right below it, yeah, I think we're going to end up with a gap down. But we have multiple levels of support. We have support at 617. And let me just throw in some labels. So we have support right there. We have support right there. No, come here. Support right there. We have support right. Wish it would stay on that. There. Yeah, because we're at 621. So these are, we have multiple levels to break through. We're kind of already under this. We're not going to count the 9. Let's see. And then we have, looks like we have a bottoming support right there. We have trend line support right there, support right there. It's going to have to break through a lot for this to go down. Now it's possible, and it's most likely probable with the whole ship thing, but there's a lot of areas to stop at on the way down. What's happening? That's not what I meant to do. Let me back out of that. All right, right. Keep these uniform. Right there. Oh, look at that. That was our price that I wanted to buy at, but missed. One right. I'm going to use these as the same one. One right here. Let's see. One right there. I mean, all the way down to 400, really. I'm just going to try to just make this, just so you have some prices to look at. Oh, let me go a little bit lower. Oops. Back out of that. Yeah. Okay, one more, I think. Do we have any legacy resistance? I mean, we do, but it's so far back that it really doesn't matter. Plus, it was on a rise, and it looks like we already handled it right there as far as legacy. And we've already kind of handled it right here as far as legacy. You can see we bounced back and up. So this, I almost kind of want to draw around here. Because here, take a look at this. So trend line, let's say I was drawing this on the daily back in September. This is making a bullish formation, so you can see, oh yeah, this is textbook. Higher highs, higher lows. 1, 2, 1, almost 2. On the third, you could see right there. Look at that. I didn't even look at that candle when I drew this, and it stopped right there, wicked out, but then broke through. And then once it breaks through that resistance, and look at that, it broke through. It broke through the 9 to get to the trend line resistance, and then opened over the 9. And I always like to say that once you have a full candle open over the 9, you're going for it. And it went for it. A little bit of a sell-off for a day, and then kept riding. Sell-off for a day, kept riding. Same, so forth. 2 days. And then we just got a little bit overextended. All right. So yeah, on the daily, I don't like that at all. That definitely shows that there will be most likely a continuation to the downside, but so many places to stop on the way down and so many good places to average down. What is this? I'm getting texts. All right, I'm not going to worry about that now. All right, so we're almost done with this video. We're just taking a good look at the price action. I do love the 1 minute, as I am a day trader by heart. Wonder if I want to draw anything else. Let's see. Oh, I didn't even mean for those to touch as much. I literally was trying to get that one. I think I'm going to leave it. More touch points, the better, so yeah. And look at that. Touch, rejection, touch, most likely a rejection. But who will hold is the question, because it broke through all of these moving averages in VWAP all at once and then rode down. It's either riding up a moving average, riding down a moving average, or making its way back to one way or the other. Okay. Okay, so overall, this is the daily? No, this is the 1 minute. So overall, we are bullish on Tesla in the mid and long term. But while this current situation is happening in the Suez Canal, we're going to be looking at these points to get our positions in. And like I say, I always like to kind of nibble at it. This is a good point that you could bounce back. Well, let's ignore the 9 for now because we closed under it. VWAP is a good point to buy. 50-day is a good point to buy. 200 EMA is a good point to buy. Local bottom is a good point to buy. This was our low on Friday. Trendline legacy resistance, or support. This will be a good place to buy. This is basically the same price. This is too close to matter, but these are 3 supports basically in a row that have to be banged through to get down. Then they're really, I mean, if we get through all of these, we could, in essence, free fall from here to here. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. I would probably, once we're in this middle area where there's no lines of support, and it's really not that big of an area. What is it, 590-ish, 596 to 566? So it's literally $30. If you're dealing with Tesla, $30 is not really going to make a difference to you, except for your average price. So yeah, once we start, if we do break through this, and this, then I would look to see where we are on the RSI while we're in here. And if we're anywhere between here, actually, yeah, between here and here, I don't even think we ever get that low. Let's say there. Come on. So anywhere between 15 and 30. 35, really, I want to say. 39, we took a turn. Looks like I'm going to say anywhere between 32 and 15 on the RSI, we are going to turn around. If you're day trading, that matters. If you're looking to hold for the long term, it's really not the hugest deal. It just kind of gives you an indication of where a good place to buy is, because nobody wants to buy and then watch it drop more. It will happen to you. That's why I always say nibble in, because if we do drop, then you can always just average down, and then it'll be that much easier once we hit a support line to bounce back up into the green for you. So those are your areas right now. Just to go over them again, this is where we ended on Friday. Let's see, get my watch list up. So our range on Friday was 599 to 643, a really nice range, more like a crypto almost, not like a stock. And we're still healthy. This is doesn't matter. We're still in a healthy area compared to where our local 52-week high was. Is there anything else to go over? Let's see. All right, so we're going to want to look for this because there's usually a dip after earnings. So we're going to want to keep our eyes on May 5th. Probably maybe get out leading up to that and then get back in afterwards. Earnings, even if they're good earnings, normally just end up being bad in this market. I don't know why. People do not react well to them, even if they're good. Even if they're good, at least from what I've been seeing. Let me draw one more. It's online. I'm addicted to my trend lines. And there's just such a good indicator in the future. Like, this is going to matter in like a month. I guarantee it. That's why I'm going to start shading them out a little bit so they're not as, because they're going to be everywhere. And I actually saw somebody was using a different name for them when they extend forever. But they were also putting them like, where was he starting them? He was starting them wherever a candle opens and closes. So it would be a candle in the green, a candle in the red, and then he would draw his line out from there until it hit a wick. I don't know. I wasn't 100% on how he was doing it. I like the way that I do it because it seems to be working. All right. So that's basically the deal with the chart. We were at 6. I mean, this says 618, but my Ameritrade says 621.50 was where we ended at in the after hours on Friday. We're at the top because I drew this at the top. So could we blast through? Possibly. We're over every major support right now except for the 9. Us being below the 9 isn't the best. But this is a 1 minute, so this won't make much difference when it comes to opening on Monday. But do I think we're going to continue the downtrend because of the Suez thing? Probably, but that's just a great buying opportunity. Let me get rid of this. And then go back to the minutes. So this looks like it makes sense. But yeah, just to, in summation, I am expecting a drop pre-market at least on Monday. If there's a recovery, that's great. From what I'm looking at, it looks like everybody has a dismal view of this ship in the Suez Canal blocking global trade. I think they're backed up a few weeks as it is. So anybody ordering from that area, and as I believe China uses that route as well, they're going to have some issues getting their parts in. So people are going to be waiting. People are going to be canceling orders. People are going to be selling off stocks out of fear. So we will most likely have a red day, if not a red week, if not a few red weeks. I'm sure we'll see some green in between then because you can't just be dismal or great. But yeah, because of that Suez ship, I think we're going to have some really great buying opportunities on Tesla. My plan of action, not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but my plan of action will be grabbing, I'm going to be doing an every other day buy on Tesla just because it's so expensive. I'm not made of money, but I would like to have, I don't know, maybe 100 shares at some point. I sold out last week for a decent little profit right before we went to $5.99, so I felt good about it. And we're still under where I sold at, so I still feel good about it. So I'm going to re-enter. I'm going to wait until after market open to see what happens. If we have a monstrous drop, I'll probably grab one depending on where it ends. I'm assuming it's going to end here, 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 or here, at least for that moment. It might continue down, but the gap down, if it's below here or below here, like goes below here, I mean, this is not far. This is about $21 away from where it ended at, so it could very well end up in this area. We're just going to have a little bit of trouble buying back out of it unless everybody does what they normally do with Tesla, and once they see fives, they just buy, which is very, very possible. I'd say there's over a 50% chance of that happening. If not, and everybody's super fearful and no longer believes in Tesla or Elon Musk over the weekend, which is very doubtful, then we do have all these areas. And then obviously we'll have to keep an eye on our RSI. MACD will be good for your day trading, but if you're just looking to buy until you can get a good percentage over, that's not the most important thing to worry about. I like RSI, your 9, and your 200. The rest is really just extra information that you may need or not, depending on what your goals are. So, in summation, last thing, and then I will end this video. We're going to see a drop, I believe, on Monday. Will we completely recover right after? It's very possible. It's very possible. I wish I had a crystal ball, but I do not. But we have multiple areas of support. We're over multiple averages. I mean, we banged down below every single average and then was bought back up before the end of after hours. Or I'm sorry, before the end of trading day on Friday. So you could see we had strength all the way up. We even found support on the 50, came back down, found support on our trend, came back up, stopped for a second at the 50, bounced back up, rode the 9, came back down, bounced off the VWAP, got a little weird in the 9, kind of fought with it, and then ended right under it, but over volume weighted average price. So we are in a good area as far as the chart goes. This is the 1 minute, so the RSI, while we're out of market hours, isn't so important. Just kind of shows you where the trend was going when we ended. So will people continue this trend? Probably. I mean, I think so. But there's no telling whether we're going to have a $2 drop, a $5 drop, a $100 drop. I'll tell you, if we have a $100 drop, I'm getting 5 to 10 shares at least. Although that does go against my plan. So actually what my plan is, anywhere in the 6s for the day that I feel like we have a bottom, I'm going to buy 1 share. Anywhere in the 5s where I feel like we have a bottom, I'm going to buy 2 shares. If we somehow, by the grace of the good Lord himself, get under 400, and then look at that, we even have some legacy support right there at 357. I'm going to buy 3, if not more, every other day, because I'm going to watch the next day to see how the price action is. And honestly, I might even buy that. But if I had to put a plan down to paper, I would say it's going to be every other day starting Monday. I'm going to look for the local bottom depending on our indicators. If we're in the 5s, if we're in the 6s, I'm going to buy 1. Then I'm going to wait. If we hit the 5s, I'm going to buy 2. Then I'm going to wait. If we hit the 4s, I'm going to buy 3. And then I'm going to wait. If we somehow go below that, doubtful, I might just go crazy on it and get as much as, oops, let me back. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And then if we somehow got into the 3s, I'm going to go crazy on it and get as much as I can, because I don't think that's going to last. Yeah, so here's all of your levels. So all of your buying points. This is where we might see bounces. I'll just move that up a little bit. Move that up a little bit. But yeah, multiple levels everywhere. Most likely this convergent right here. What is this, the 200 and the 50? I believe that's a death cross. Yeah. So we're probably going to come down, but where is the question? So many areas. Anyway, either way, it's good news. If it goes up, you're going to be making money. If it comes down, you're going to be able to average yourself into a really good position. So that's my plan. Every other day, in the 6s, 1 share, in the 5s, 2 share, in the 4s, 3 shares. Wait that next day, see what happens. If I still see us in a downtrend, I'm going to continue with that buy. If I see us going up, I'm going to hold. The next day, if we continue going up, I'm going to hold. But if we continue going down, I will do my 1 in the 6s, 2 in the 5s, and 3 in the 4s. And that's it for now. I'm not even sure how long this video is. Did not intend for it to be this long, but for now, that is all on Tesla. And